Okay, next up is Diane Shoemaker, who is a development specialist with Rust to Green Utica, and a close collaborative partner with CARDI, and she'll talk a little bit about what they have been doing to support the ways that they're addressing housing, but also in a broader context of community development.
Thanks, Heidi. Thank you, Liz, too, for having us here. Yesterday, a graduate student, I think, stood up and asked one of the panelists what could be done to connect communities to the university. And so that's what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about a really strong partnership with Cornell that the city of Utica has had for the last 10 years. Now let me see if I do this right. Oh, good, okay. Since 2000, Rust to Green, a Cornell University and Utica partnership, has engaged 170 students and a number of faculty to be engaged in community-driven placemaking projects in the city of Utica. These projects are all designed to transition the city's rust to green. For 10 years, Rust to Green has engaged Cornell educators, researchers, and students from many different fields at the university to work together and in collaboration with our community members in the Utica community, problem-solving activities, empowering, actionable, and visionary activities. You know, I took notes while people were talking, and what I see Rust to Green as is a really ever-changing and diverse group of pracademics, lasagna builders, think tankers, placemakers, and planners. If you look at the green box, it's a recent project that we did with Cornell relating to sustainability in the downtown. 4 different departments and 4 different professors and their graduate students came to the city of Utica and did a number of research projects related to that. We used that information, that data, to acquire funding for a sustainability plan for the downtown. And an estimated $1 million in Cornell in-kind and millions more in Rust to Green generated federal, state, and local funds have helped us to reactivate the city of Utica. You look, the lists are some of the things we've done in the last 10 years. One of the most recent things we've done, though, is the Zombie Property Initiative for the city of Utica. So now I'm going to use the slides we were supposed to use. So we thought the issue was vacant and zombie properties. And I think our founder of Rust to Green, Paula Horrigan, who is a Cornell Emerita Professor of Landscape Architecture, said it best, and I'm going to read this. Housing is one of a community's greatest assets, but when it's abandoned and left to decay and decline, it drags down entire neighborhoods. Each abandoned house comes to represent deep losses, security, pride, dignity, and financial stability. For communities, the loss of homes and the families they house become a threat to the community's overall social cohesion, environmental quality, safety, and economic vitality. It was a no-brainer for Rust to Green to be involved in the zombie property project. The other issue that Utica had was they didn't have the capacity to carry forward the funding. So they received round 1 funding, but they really need help to implement it. So the Rust to Green team worked with the city, we worked with Cornell faculty, and we worked with LISC to design the framework for a really strategic action research plan for Utica's housing, with a focus immediately on vacants and zombies. We saw this as an opportunity to build Utica's capacity to address its housing needs. So this was our approach. We developed a housing inventory protocol to help them track and analyze housing, starting with vacants and zombies. We created a vacant property task force in the city that is staffed by city employees. We established a Utica Housing Committee. It's a consortium of all the housing partners in the region. We identified the city's technology needs so they could collect, map, and better analyze any of the data they had. We connected with the at-risk homeowners in the city. We provided foreclosure prevention resources at all levels. We conducted a Mohawk Valley Regional Zombie Roundtable event. We invited all of the practitioners in our area to get together and have conversations. And we helped organize this concert. So when we look at the evidence of our success, I'm going to go back to those things that we did. Again, we established a housing database. The city of Utica has a database that they can now expand, highlight, and analyze. We started with the vacants, and now they're moving into the rest of the housing. The city now has ArcGIS, which they didn't have before. They have licenses, they have trained staff, they have a web presence, they have 25 data layers that they're working with. GIS funding was also added to the city's budget for 2020. They have an active vacant property task force. Lawyers, planners, code officers, and the mayor now meet regularly. They have an active Utica Housing Action Committee. Realtors, Housing and Homeless Coalition, the Mohawk Valley Land Bank, Municipal Housing, Community Foundation, Section 8, and NeighborWorks all meet quarterly now to talk about the housing issues in the city. At-risk homeowners now have immediate access to resources via the city's zombies.com website. And the city of Utica established a part-time zombie coordinator position to administer Zombie 2.0, which they received, and that's Derek. So Derek started at Rust Green, and now he's working actually full-time at the city. Funding and key resources. It was all, our success was all due to our partners. LISC, of course, provided us with a lot of funding and a lot of technical assistance. Utica Neighborhood Housing provided in-kind foreclosure prevention and resources. The Mohawk Valley Land Bank provided rehab assistance, property upkeep, and strategic planning assistance. Cornell Cooperative Extension, Oneida County, provided staffing assistance. They paid for fringe benefits for our employees. CARDI provided research, community engagement, data analysis, and in-kind technical assistance. And the Cornell Rust Green faculty provided in-kind planning and technical assistance as well. So the lessons we learned were the lessons we learned from everybody that came to the roundtable. We all sat and talked about what worked and what didn't work. And we learned that in order to be successful, we all need municipal support. We need collaboration and communication. We need engagement of community partners. We need accurate and updated housing inventory info to move forward. We need staffing. We need data management. We need ongoing education and funding to pay for all of the above. So what happens for the next 10 years for Rust Green? We're entering our 11th year. Right now, we're working with Engaged Cornell on a participatory evaluation of Rust Green, Utica, and Binghamton. It's a faculty research grant that they received. The goal is to really have a comprehensive and integrative evaluation plan to better understand what works and doesn't work with this university-community partnership. And that will be our guide to what happens into the future. Thank you.